Okay, hello everyone. My name is Laquan Williams, and today, with this video topic, I wanted to discuss the new Superman and Lois TV show that's going to be airing on the CW network. It's going to be out in a couple weeks on February 8th, 2021. Oh, excuse me, not February 8th. February 23rd. The article that I'm looking at was put out today, which is February 8th, 2021. In approximately 2 weeks, on February 23rd, though, the show will be on. It's going to be on the CW network. It's going to be a new Arrowverse show, along with, which is now gone, the Green Arrow, the Flash, DC Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, which is in its last season, which starts today, Supergirl, which is in its last season as well, Batwoman, Stargirl, and I think that's about it. They have a lot of new shows. I already mentioned Batwoman too. Yeah, Supernatural is not a part of it, but it's a part of the network. That was a long-standing, highest popular show besides Green Arrow, and that's gone now too. So within the last year, they've lost a lot of shows on the CW. So there's Supernatural's done. Green Arrow's been done for months as well. They've both been done for months. Black Lightning is in its last season. It will be done on TV in the next month and a half. Supergirl is going to be done too within the next couple of months. That's in its last season. Zombie, they lost that about about maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I think. So there's a lot of shows that they have that are no longer on their network anymore, and they also renewed the Flash and Batwoman, and obviously the DC Legends of Tomorrow for another season, but they did not pick up on the CW network. They didn't pick up the Green Arrow and the Canaries spinoff that was supposed to take place, which saw Mia Queen, which is the Green Lantern, the Green Arrow, the Green Arrow's daughter, Mia Smoke / Mia Queen, same thing, as his daughter taking over, basically. That was supposed to happen, but it's obviously not going to happen at all. They decided to cut the show. There has been no explanation about that. I made a video about that a couple weeks ago. There is nothing else that's going to happen, so I don't know why they cut it. They put time and money into that. There was multiple episodes of the backstory taking place, which shows what happens after Oliver Queen dies, and his daughter obviously takes over eventually, and his son William helps her out, and they have their own crew. John Diggle's stepson, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, might not be, but they all take place, and it all takes place in the future. Multiple episodes. They gave the backstories on all the characters. It was looking pretty good, and the next thing I know, just like everybody else, it's gone. They're not doing it. They didn't pick it up. This was actually announced about 2 weeks ago now that they're not going to pick up the show. I don't know what's going to happen and what's going to change, but I believe when Greg Berlanti left, I believe that show and some other stuff left with him. So, but this new, I don't know what's going to happen with that, with the Green Arrow and the Canaries, if they decide to maybe change and bring it back. And I think they probably will this year, because after Black Lightning and the Supergirl are gone, you're having 2 less shows on your network. So I think they might change their mind. Hopefully they change their mind on giving John Constantine, played by Matt Ryan, his own show on there to reboot what the show he had on NBC in 2014-15. I have the season. It was one season, about 13-14 episodes. I have it on Blu-ray. It wasn't even supposed to come out. NBC was pushing it back and forth, back, like it was never going to be released. It got canceled. I was happy about it. It's a big, huge fan favorite. I have him on my shirt right here, John Constantine. I'm a huge fan. Keanu Reeves, the movie, he played him in 2005 was great. I love that. And obviously, the TV show with Matt Ryan playing him, that happened in 2014-15, and then obviously, like I said, NBC pushed that back. Like they were never going to put it out on DVD, which I was like, strange to hear, because I'm like, you guys canceled it, just throw it out on DVD already. You don't care about the show, you already canceled it, just do that. So they finally eventually did, and that was great. So I'm glad I got it on Blu-ray. Right now, we're talking about Superman and Lois, though. Lois Lane, Superman, another new DC show on the CW, and on GameSpot, this article that came out on today, February 8th, 2021, it states that Superman and Lois Lane, the Superman and Lois show, is not trying to be another Arrowverse show, which I think is impossible to do, considering the fact that they already have interacted with the characters in the TV show. They've shown it, the crossovers, and the multiple meetings that they had, which took place last year with Crisis on Infinite Earths. So that's actually impossible to actually state that. Also, too, it's a family superhero show, which all the superhero shows are, with the exception of DC Legends, because those people, the characters, are not actually friends or family members. They're acquaintances. On The Flash, it's different. It's a family show, on Green Arrow, it's a family show, so that's actually very hard to state, obviously, in regards to this show, and obviously what's going to happen moving forward, but we'll see. And I also want to know how is it going to do, because it actually got renewed for more episodes. Before the show even aired, it's going to have 15 episodes in its first season, and we'll see how it does, but that's on another article I have. So this article says that while there is plenty of variety on the CW's roster of DC Universe TV shows, it's hard to argue that they're all not action first. Whether it's The Flash, DC Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, Supergirl, or Batwoman, these series spend the majority of their time with superheroes in colorful costumes, saving the universe time and time again. While that's not a bad thing, Superman and Lois, which premieres on February 23rd in a couple weeks, is looking to change up the formula. While the series, which sees Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch reprise the roles as Clark Kent and Lois Lane from a variety of Arrowverse crossovers, which was Crisis on Infinite Earths, and the other ones that they had. The other one they had before it, crossovers, is set in the same universe, and will definitely see Superman flying around and battling evil. It's first and foremost a family drama. In fact, when developing the series, showrunner Todd Helbing wasn't looking at another superhero series for inspiration. I don't know how that's not the case. They already had the whole entire cast, the main cast, interact with the other characters in the DC, obviously CW universe. So I find it hard to believe how they're trying to state, it's going to be separate from it, but it takes place obviously a different town / city, metropolis, whatnot. But we know that what's going to happen in the show at least a couple of times. Supergirl will be in it. There might be an appearance from another CW character, superhero like the Flash. Barry Allen might be on it. It's possible they might have Oliver Queen show up in some form or fashion. Maybe, I don't know. It's possible in an episode. Who knows? Obviously, but there will be another crossover taking place most likely this year, before this year's over, in 2021. But they already had Lois Lane and Superman obviously interact with all the characters last year in the CW, Green Arrow, the Flash, Black Lightning, and the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Obviously, the different parts of that, very big and long. It was pretty fun crossover. I enjoyed it all. So they're trying to focus on the iconic characters here, continuing an article of Superman and Lois Lane in an attempt to bring a new style to the Arrowverse, but they're trying to stay away from sticking it to having the show be a regular Arrowverse show. It says that one take that it cues for higher budget shows, after all, they're trying to create a new style. After all, the CW's superhero shows should be commended for the visual effects that they try to manage to pull off on limited budgets. They have so many shows, so I'm kind of scratching my head about that when it comes to limited budgets when it's being owned by Warner Brothers, and there's multiple shows on here with superhero shows that they're having. So it's very interesting to hear that, obviously, and but we'll see what happens. It says that they're competing with shows on streamers and cable networks, but you guys have so many shows on there, you're losing a couple, obviously, but right now, but we'll see what happens. And what they're stating, that they want a big audience, and they want it on the big screen. And to that end, the show is also taking inspiration from the cinematography choices, or even the aspect ratio that's being used. It's like a movie, Tulloch said. It's very cinematic. It's very beautiful. It's shot very beautifully. The lighting is extraordinary. The writing was wonderful. We'll see how that happens. But the previews of the trailers looks pretty cool. But obviously, it's very interesting to see why they're stating that. Well, this is not going to be like another CW show. It's a family show. It's superheroes. It takes place in a different city. That's exactly what. Excuse me, I forgot Black Lightning, because that's actually a family show where they're all superheroes, mostly for the most part, except Gamby and obviously Lynn, the mother on Black Lightning. She's not a superhero. He is Black Lightning, and he has powers, and he gave it to his 2 daughters that he has. That is that, and there's obviously the Flash family show, the Green Arrow family show. So it's another family show on the CW with superheroes. So how is it different from the other ones is what I'm trying to state. But it's supposed to state that this is going to be different because it's supposed to be taking place in a different town and city of Metropolis, and it's supposed to be a more family driven oriented one right out of the gate. But obviously the other shows were like that too, obviously, with Barry Allen, Flash, with him, Iris, and Joe West. Before Wally even came into the picture, it was obviously a family, and obviously the close knit of Cisco and obviously Caitlin on the show. So that was obviously already there. And then obviously but Green Arrow was different. Green Arrow wasn't a family show from the start or the beginning. It became that over time. It wasn't like that in the beginning. But we're gonna see what happens. Clark Kent and Lois are gonna raise their 2 twin sons in Metropolis, and it's supposed to be a more family driven grassroots type of ordeal. It says people are dealing with lost jobs. They're having teenagers push back at them at every turn, and arguments. We'll see how it is, because it's supposed to take place in like a little small town where they're isolated, but obviously Metropolis is obviously very big and huge. As you can see, where they're at is like a more I would say a more cabin in the type of ordeal, big huge farm they live on, but they're isolated themselves. But in Metropolis, obviously the bigger city, kind of like Gotham, is where obviously it's big huge, more obviously danger, and obviously where everything is taking place. That's where the action is. But we'll see how it is. It reminds me of how if you look how Hawkeye had his family in the last Marvel Avengers movie. He was with his family. They had a big, huge farm, the property. They had their dog, and it was peace and quiet. Obviously, that's what he had. But obviously, I was taken away from him when the snap happened, and obviously Thanos got rid of everybody. But it's similar to that, basically, where he's isolated from other people there when his family, but when he has to jump into action, he has to go into the big city. It's basically the same thing as Superman. He and his family are here. They got their nice big house on a farm, nice fields and big property. But when he jumps into action and him and Lois go to work, they go to Metropolis, the big city. So we'll see how that goes and how that's going to take place. And is this show going to be successful? How is it going to be in the first season? With the ratings, we've seen this basically with I saw the ratings for Supergirl, where every season the ratings went down. First a couple episodes start really big in ratings, and then they just keep going down and further. So we'll see how long that's going to take for people get used to the show, and how if people are going to take to the show very kindly, obviously. And it's very interesting. But currently, right now, what the CW has is DC Legends, Supergirl, that's about to be canceled. Excuse me, it says last season. I believe it was canceled. It says last season. So was Black Lightning, but the ratings weren't the issue for either of them, if I'm not mistaken. It's just they decided that it's time to wrap up. I believe creative differences was the issue with obviously Black Lightning, but the new shows are Batwoman, Stargirl, which is in the second season, about to be. Batwoman, it's in the second season. This is the first season for the Superman show. So it's 3 new shows. And they also are going to do some other ones as well. And the reoccurring ones are obviously the Flash and DC Legends. There is no more Green Arrow, like I said. Supernatural's gone, and obviously Black Lightning and Supergirl are about to be gone too. So overall, in the next couple months, it's only going to be about 4 shows. So like I said, Superman and Lois, Stargirl, these as far as new shows, Batwoman, and obviously that's basically it. Yeah, but we'll see what happens. It'll be very interesting to see what's taking place with this. There'll be probably new shows that are recurring on that are going to take place, but we'll see what happens. But like I said, the only newer shows are this, Batwoman and Stargirl. Other shows that are obviously on the network are reoccurring, and I don't know what other new shows they're going to have. There's supposed to be a new pilot show for Black Lightning, which is going to obviously going to be a little bit different, but it's going to be based off of the painkiller character that's on the show, that's played by Khalil, who is the boyfriend. He was the villain. Now he's obviously good. The boyfriend of Black Lightning's youngest daughter, Jennifer. She's supposed to be on there. He's supposed to be on there by himself. It's going to be what's going to happen. What happens to him after he becomes a bad guy, and he tries to change his ways and he stays isolated. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. It's going to be very interesting to see how that's going to be based off of now Black Lightning's over. Will the spin-off be interesting and obviously grab people's attention now that Black Lightning is going to be off the air for good? There's going to be obviously characters from the story, and obviously the show, they're going to cross over, and obviously they're going to have guest appearances, but it's supposed to be obviously a spin-off, and it's supposed to be Khalil by himself as Painkiller, so we'll see what happens with that, and obviously what's going to happen with this new show, Superman and Lois. But they're saying that they do not want to be looked at as a new Arrowverse show. They're trying to be different. I wanted to look at this article to show you that this is what happened as well. On February 4th, on TV series finale.com, it says that Superman and Lois have had additional episodes ordered ahead of the series premiere, which takes place on February 23rd. So now that the total number of episodes that it's going to have, it states right here, it's going to be 15 for its first season. The network is obviously very excited, and they're very confident in the show and what it's going to bring. So they ordered additional episodes to be shown, and obviously they're going to be filmed at a later time. They probably have about 2 or 3 in the tank right now to show, maybe 4 max, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be very interesting to see how the show goes moving forward, how interesting, how successful it's going to be. Is it going to be successful, or is it already kind of dead in the water? I don't know about that, but we'll see. That's the question. But the network, obviously, with CW, which is owned by Warner Brothers, is obviously already happy, excited for it. They probably like the feedback that they saw, which is obviously what happened last year with the crossover that Superman and Lois were first introduced on Crisis on Infinite Earths, with the rest of the DC characters on there on the CW. Like I said, the Green Arrow, the Flash. It was different. Another version of the Flash, Jay Garrick. So we'll see what happens. It's another characters, obviously the DC Legends, Black Lightning. So they all were together, and it was multiple parts. So they're confident, so we'll see what happens. Obviously, is it going to be successful? They feel like that everything is going to be good for it, but it varies. Sometimes these shows obviously go one way, and then at the beginning and then towards the end, people kind of switch their opinions towards it because they're not interested in what they saw in the beginning or what they thought they were going to get, but we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see how it is going to be. I want to see it, obviously. It says that a 90-minute episode special is going to be taking place for the season premiere. It's going to be, that's what's going to happen on the 23rd. So right here it states that on TV series finale.com, it says that the series launches on Tuesday, February 23rd with a special 90-minute episode. It will be followed by a half-hour special, which is going to show the legacy of hope of Superman and Lois. That's what it's called. It's going to sneak peek the series with behind-the-scenes cast interviews and footage, and obviously special guests discussing the legacy of the Man of Steel. And the Flash is going to start about a week later. They changed the date of that. The Flash was supposed to be on the same day, the 23rd. Now it's going to be March 4th, I believe. I don't know why they pushed it back a week, but I think it possibly is a test run to see if the Superman Lois show can stand on its own without having the show being shown before the Flash, because obviously the ratings are going to be a test to that. Because if it's going to show the show's going to be premiering a week before the Flash happens, we're going to see how people like it. rather than it having the backup of having the Flash being right after before it, so they can rely on people to watch the show right obviously before the Flash comes on, so they'll have those ratings carry over. We'll see what happens with that. Ratings are shown on here obviously as well, and what's canceled and what's new when it comes to shows on this website, tvseriesfinale.com. But that's all I have to say and state in regards to the Superman Lois show, and we'll see what happens with that. Let me know what you think about it, and if you think the show is going to be canceled in its first season, is it going to get multiple seasons, and how you think it's going to do, and are you interested in it at all? And if you're not a fan of the DC CW shows, which I know a lot of people aren't because they don't like how the shows go overly dramatic with their storylines, and how some characters are not portrayed in the story lines. Obviously, the show very well in regards to how they were created and made and shown in the comic books, because they're not interested in the lack of originality is taking place. But we'll see what happens with that. That's all I have to state in regards to this, but hopefully the show does get multiple seasons. I don't know how it's going to be. I think it'll do okay. I don't know what villains they're going to have in the show besides like Lex Luthor. I don't know if Brainiac's going to happen, or I believe Bizarro is one of Superman's villains. And there's different version of him, like obviously, which is I think Bizarro, or another version of Superman, like the darker version, the evil version of him. So we'll see about that. We'll see what happens. Because obviously, they had the Lex Luthor on the show, played by John Cryer, who played Alan on the 2.5 Men TV show with Charlie Sheen, who played his brother. He plays Lex Luthor in these shows, so he'll probably be back, I'm guessing, because he obviously will have time to be able to come on this show now that Supergirl is over. He's on that show, but as long as they don't kill him off. But there's always ways to bring him back. Remember, he was in Crisis on Infinite Earths. He stole the book, and he tried to use that to his advantage multiple times, and he did succeed, but they did catch him, obviously, in the end from destroying everything, because he got the book and in the story, and obviously he was able to change fate and changed the balance of time, obviously, and give himself power and make himself president. He was always head of the superheroes. They had to go travel back in time in order to stop him. So it was very interesting with Crisis on Infinite Earths, how that took place. But we'll see what happens with that in Superman and Lois, and what happens in the future on the CW, and what other crossovers they're going to have besides next year. Obviously they're going to have one, but I don't know if they're going to give the Green Arrow and the Canaries the actual season that they were supposed to get, if they're actually going to bring it back, actually going to have it happen at all, because they said we're not doing it anymore. They were going to, but they're not going to. I don't know what happened. They canceled it. Hopefully things change. I don't know, and hopefully that does change to take place probably and happening in this year, and also hopefully the John Constantine reboot, because he's supposed to appear on a Netflix show, but I don't know who's going to be playing him. But hopefully he does get his own reboot show on the CW. I know they say years ago they weren't going to do it, but maybe they'll change their mind now that they're having less shows available, because you're losing major shows. They don't have the Green Arrow, that's gone. Like I said, Black Lightning's obviously in its last season. Supergirl's in its last season, so those shows are gone, and Supernatural. So you have multiple open spots on the network, and obviously, who knows what's going to happen with these shows. But the newer ones are obviously supposed to be the interesting shows that people are trying to get people to obviously like. That's why they brought Superman and Lois, because they're saying we lost major shows. No more Superwoman, Supergirl. No more, obviously, a Black Lightning and obviously Green Arrow. We need a bigger character. That's why they made Superman. They brought him in. They knew that was going to happen, obviously, behind the scenes. That's why Superman and Lois was made. If those other shows were still on, obviously Supernatural, there probably wouldn't have been one, but probably, actually, there still had to be one eventually, because obviously they had a crossover, and they introduced, obviously, Superman with Supergirl, cousin, obviously, on the show. So we'll see what happens. That would have to happen eventually. But we'll see what happens with that. That's all I have to state in this video in regards to the topic and subject of the Superman and Lois show on the CW. If you have any questions or comments about what you think about this and everything, about it being successful, if you're even going to bother watching it, or if you're just waiting for the next Henry Cavill Superman movie to come out, and possibly maybe another Justice League movie, I don't know, if you like him instead as Superman in the movies, versus obviously this TV show version of Superman. But the Snyder Cut is about to come out, so a lot of people are happy about that. But thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. That's all I have to state about this. Bye.